Welcome back to the Big Movie Mouth Off. I'm Jimmy Martin with Slug Magazine.
And I'm Jeff Weiss with MSN Entertainment.
Now, we're going to start this next segment. We're going to talk about Jon Favreau's new cowboy slash sci-fi, western, epic, action, anything in between called Cowboys and Aliens. It stars Daniel Craig as a cowboy who basically wakes up in the middle of the desert, doesn't know where he came from, why he's there. He's got a bracelet attached to his wrist, goes into town, meets a few people, finds out he's a wanted man.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose and aliens invade the hell out of that small ghost town.
Kidnap people.
Kidnap people. You've got Olivia Wilde as your leading lady. You've got Harrison Ford as kind of a jerk cattle business owner whose son is kidnapped by the aliens. So they've all got something invested to catch these aliens.
Right.
So this is the hard thing, because you've never seen something like this before. And for me...
No, and by the way, we should mention that this is based off a comic book property.
It is. It's based off, I think, just one graphic novel, if I remember right, unless there's more than I saw.
There was a miniseries.
Well,
that was collected.
Now, let me say this before we go into the movie. That comic book series is terrible.
Yeah.
It's just awful. It's written by an 8-year-old.
It's a good idea, mashing up cowboys and aliens.
Yeah. And then it just flops. Now, did Favreau follow the comic book series? No, he didn't.
I need to know where you came from.
So do I.
You don't remember anything.
Things. Why are you asking me?
They've got my son.
My wife. I need that weapon. It's the only thing that counts.
For me, this is really it's kind of one of those movies I always call a drool fest. Where you're sitting there watching the pretty pictures and action and aliens and just having a good time with it. Which it is. But to me, it actually kind of took one step further and actually feels like an old Western. And that's where I give Favreau a lot of props for this, because the last time we saw Favreau, he's been doing the Iron Man movies. Right. So to me, this does not feel like anything that he's done before, and it succeeds in my opinion.
Now it's interesting for me to bring up the comic book property, which had a major problem in that it took itself too seriously, didn't have any humor. I have the same problem with the movie, which for a Jon Favreau film seems very dire and dour and not very fun.
Jake Lonergan. You mind following me over to the office so we can have us a little chat?
I think you got the wrong man.
Well, I'm gonna need you to come with us all the same.
Wouldn't do that if I was you.
I don't want any trouble.
I'll grant you that the Western aspects work better than the sci-fi. The alien kidnapping and inside the alien complex, none of that works for me whatsoever.
Really?
Really.
See, I actually enjoyed the sci-fi element of it.
And at no time was I ever engaged with any of the characters.
It takes a while to get involved with the character. I actually think that Daniel Craig does a really good job as kind of like this lone ranger,
Right.
strolling into town. I think he pulls it off. I think he does a really good job. I think Olivia Wilde, for about half of the movie, you don't really care about her because she's not giving the information of why you need to. And then there's a couple of twists and turns here and there. And then you kind of get involved with her story. Do they go with that story enough for me to care that much about her? Not really.
No.
And Harrison Ford takes it a little bit too seriously.
Yes.
It's the jerk guy becoming you know,
the more redeemable.
Yeah, he wants to redeem himself and become likable. Now, I don't need that from him, really, I would say. But the action in this movie is a lot of fun, and I think the effects are great.
Yeah. Now I should say this: Jon Favreau likes a lot of what they call organic special effects, which sort of eschew CGI and more models and robotics and makeup effects and
Which I appreciate.
and these sorts of things. I just didn't find the designs of any of it particularly special. In fact, I felt sort of like I was watching a higher budgeted sci-fi channel production.
Oh, it's not that bad.
No, but it's not that good either. I'm really majorly disappointed in this film, especially coming from Jon Favreau and with these cast members. This was probably one of the more disappointing duds for me of the summer.
See, I disagree, because for me, Harrison Ford, like I said, the redeeming quality, fine, whatever like that, but it's Harrison Ford playing the grumpy old man that he does so well, you know what I mean? He's got the rustle and the deep voice, he's always pissed off, It's almost like an older version of Han, who just gets really pissed. Then Daniel Craig, I think he does fine as the lone gunner,
Yeah. But Daniel Craig does not work for me as Clint Eastwood. And maybe that's the sort of fun that this film needed, was the feel of a spaghetti western, and this just does not have it for me. It doesn't have a Silverado crackling sort of.
I'll give you it's more of a John Ford.
Yeah, it needs more funny. It needs a lot more funny, and the transitions between the western and the sci-fi just are too abrupt and too jarring. And again, the sci-fi elements just aren't.
It's abrupt, but how do you include a spaceship flying in over horses right through a
When you
field?
finally get a revelation of why the aliens are on Earth, it is an eye-rollingly dumb moment. I'll just say that. Spoiler alert.
Well, they couldn't just come to hang out.
That would have made more sense. Really, it would have made more sense. Very disappointed, 2 stars for me.
I'm going to go above you. I think I had a lot of fun times with this film. It was actually more surprising for me. Maybe I just had my standards lower than you. I give it 3 stars. Had a good time. I would love to see, I love this cross-genre style, and this is kind of the first one to do it, and now Hollywood, if you know anything down the pipeline, are going to do it over and over and over again. So maybe they'll fix some of the problems, who knows.
If this actually makes money.
If it makes money. It's already in the works, Spice, it's coming.
Speaking of diminished expectations, after the break we'll be talking about the Smurfs in live action.
Childhood cartoon.
We'll see if they ruined it after the break.
No.